Welcome to Master of Magic. And what I'd like to show you is how to win with an 11 life book strategy based on summoning the very special hero Tauron. So this will be, let's play on impossible difficulty so we can see the strategy faced by the greatest challenge, 4 enemy wizards, and using a large landmass. That's a pro and a con for a Tauron strategy. The pro is Tauron, as a land-based soldier, has a hard time crossing water. On the other hand, it's a con because typically 2 or even 3 enemy wizards will be able to send land-based raiders against our capital early in the game. This is an 11 life book strategy, so somehow the Merlin portrait suits me fine, and I like the wizard name Chosen Seeker because I am seeking Torin the Chosen. This is an 11 life book strategy, and the 2 uncommon spells, I'm going to need prayer. Prayer is going to make Tauron a whole lot tougher and help him win battles he otherwise might not. I used to do plane shift to open up mirror, but frankly, Tauron is tough enough to punch through a tower of wizardry fairly early in the game. So I'm going to choose True Sight. That spell eliminates illusion, which can help cover up a weakness of Tauron's, where phantom warriors and other illusionary attacks punch through his Tauron's considerable armor as if it wasn't there. So he's very vulnerable to phantom warriors and similar illusion attacks unless he has True Sight. And this is all based on the rare spell Incarnation, allowing us to get access to a very powerful hero very early in the game. Normally on 11 book strategies, I like high elves because of their population mana bonus, but I'm going to go a different route picking nomads. Nomads have a really great unit called Rangers. I've got to build up my city pretty considerably to be able to create Rangers, but once I do, they have pathfinding. And even though Tauron as a hero can move 2, and then with endurance, that could be 3, and if you get some good items, that can give him further movement, hitting mountains, hitting forests really will slow him down on the ground. And with if you compare him with a pathfinding ranger, he can scoot around the board a whole lot more quickly. I like the blue flags. One of the secrets to winning on impossible mode is you've got to get, let's call our capital here, Tauron home. You've got to get a good starting position. Let's see what this one's like. So I've got Mithril. That will give me +1 mana right from the start of the game. Plus, once I get an alchemy guild, it will give me magic weapons that not only have +1 to hit, but they have +1 attack. However, a population of 17 is okay, but I want to show you what this game would play like with I normally start 8 or 10 times before I find a good starting position. If I'd found this one, I would have gone ahead and started with it. But as it turns out, I found one even better, and I want to show you what the game would play like with that as your starting city. Okay, why do I like this starting city? It's got a population of 16, which is just slightly above average. But look at this, game for +2 food and game for +2 food. This is an incredibly good starting position. It's rare that you get 2 game because it's going to allow me to early on dedicate a population that otherwise had to be doing farming to. So I need 4 food just to keep my population alive, and I need 2 more food to keep my soldiers alive. That allows me to, because the 2 game allow me to free up 2 farmers into workers, and that will really accelerate my growth and production. I start off with a granary because, again, that will free up another farmer because it produces food, but it also grows the population 20 per turn. And that will help my city Tauron home here grow a whole lot more quickly. I'm going to need, one of the challenges of this Tauron strategy is early on, it's going to cost 12 maintenance to 12 mana upkeep per turn to sustain Tauron. Plus, I'm going to have to drop Heroism on him because at level 0, Tauron's not that tough. But at level 3, like I get with Heroism, Tauron is pretty unstoppable in the early game. But so that's another 1 or 2 maintenance for the endurance, and so meanwhile though, my magic income, I'm gonna have to put it all on mana for quite a while, and I've only got 11 mana coming in, but I'm going to be spending 13 or 14 mana just to keep Tauron with Heroism going. Yeah, Heroism must be at 2 maintenance. So I'm going to be at a minimum -3. Plus, to find out where the other enemy wizards are and not take forever, I need a magic spirit. And because this is a life game, I'm going to have endurance on it. So my magic spirit can go at twice speed, but that's going to cost another 2 mana. So that's 16 mana of maintenance when I only have mana income of 11. And to compensate for that, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of alchemy. So I'm going to need a lot of gold, and I'm going to need the maximum taxes I can sustain. I'm also, I want to get this Magic Spirit Scout going as soon as possible. So converting gold to mana, and let's start casting a Magic Spirit, because the Magic Spirit's going to be a lot better scout than my troops, and I'm going to leave my troops at home for defense and also to avoid unrest from the high taxes. And now for research here, I don't really need any of these spells to win, but I'll just research the cheapest, Plane Shift. That can be useful. And there's my Magic Spirit. And from here on out, I'm not going to do alchemy because I'm going to need a big hunk of gold when I finish summoning Tauron, so that I can convert all that gold to mana and be able to drop Heroism so I can start using Tauron very early in the game. I am going to want to drop Endurance because that's going to allow the Magic Spirit to move at twice its rate, which is going to be very valuable for using him for scouting duty. Looks like I'm kind of found a narrow neck of land there. I want to first understand the neighborhood that's around my capital. So, and that quickly I have created a granary. That's going to allow me to turn one more farmer into a worker, speeding up everything that comes after. And now I want a marketplace and a farmer's market. Farmer's market's going to give me needed food and give me another population growth accelerator. It's going to take about 10 turns or so to get that marketplace, but it is what it is. It would be a great bolster to my cause if I was to find an unguarded lair at this point, which is another benefit of having a magic spirit scouting around. So there's another interesting nomad city to add to my empire when I get a chance. Stone Giant. Future Battle. Gargoyles. I wonder how early in the game Tauron can take on gargoyles. Because of this mana deficit, if I could capture a node early on, that would be tremendously beneficial. But Tauron's going to rely a lot on prayer, which I can cast in most settings, but in a node, most likely the node will fizzle my prayer spell. And barbarians. I wouldn't mind some barbarian taxpayers, to tell you the truth. Another thing, I really want to find the enemy wizards as quickly as possible. Cockatrices, more phantom warriors. I really may want to drop that true sight on Tauron and grab one of these sorcery nodes as early as I can. More phantom warriors. Maybe I want to grab a whole bunch of nodes early on. Holy cow, look what I just noticed. All right, we finished the marketplace. Now that I'm up to a population of 5, I got some unrest going on. And so I have an interesting choice here. It's 10 turns to the farmer's market with unrest. And I don't remember getting 105 gold magic. Let's see. Anyway, where did the 105 mana come from? Anyway, let's see here. I think what I need to do is bump down my tax rate because I don't want to have unrest. As badly as I need that money, and I need it pretty badly, I even more need to get some defenders. Another thing I like about nomads is early on you can get horse bowmen, which make pretty nice garrison troops, really, especially if they're behind walls. So if I keep my tax rate up, I can get a farmer's market in 10 turns. But if I reduce it, it turns this guy back into a worker instead of a rebel, and I can get the farmer's market in 8 turns. And I really need that farmer's market followed by a stable and horse bowman as quickly as I possibly can. And with that population also, I am going to have to turn another population into a farmer. And look, here is an enemy wizard. It's just a little outpost, but we have now met Sharee. Sharee is got a whole lot of death and a little bit of nature. Nature is a risk for Crack's Call for Tauron, which I'll need to watch out for eventually. I don't think Crack's Call is a common, so Sharee shouldn't have that right away, most likely, unless she's traded for it or found it as treasure. But as a death life mage, we have absolutely nothing, no magic books in common. Sharee is not going to like me very much. But this is also a strong clue that Sharee's capital must be back here someplace. And that's what I need to do is find those enemies and take them over as quick as possible. Oh, tower defended by a stone giant. Interesting. Do not wander too close to my territory, chosen seeker. I tolerate nothing. All right, Sharee, I'll consider that a suggestion. But I kind of go where I want to go. Sorry, Sharee. That's just the way it is. Whoa. And there we go. We found a second Sharee city, and it is her capital. There is her tower, and she's summoned 4 ghouls and 2 war bears. All right, now I realize what I did. I forgot to start. I was like, why is my mana so high? Because I forgot to cast Incarnation. So, casting Incarnation as my 3rd spell after Magic Spirit and Endurance. And I found the enemy wizard. I am casting Incarnation to get Tauron here. That spell costs 300, and I've only got 123 mana in the bank. So it's gonna be taking some time here. Some considerable time. I do not want my magic spirit tangling with Sharee's magic spirit if I can at all help it. So kind of being careful to not blunder into Sharee's troops. Whoa, Angel. Just cannot find an undefended lair. Whoa. And we have now found the second wizard. What have we got? Tauron. Whole lot of chaos and a little bit of death. Again, nothing in common. His personality is aggressive, objective, perfectionist. What does that even mean? I guess I could look it up. Chaos Mastery, Sage Master, and Rune Master. Whoa, these guys are already at war. Yes, fight each other. Thank you. Please fight each other. Let's see, historian. We've now made it to September of 01, and on Impossible mode, the opponents start out with some bonuses, and Tauron and Sharee are already fighting it out, and they, due to their Impossible level bonuses, they start off with quite a bit more force than I do. So somewhere in this region, Tauron, we ought to find Tauron's capital as well. And you know, you just never know what's out there. Oof, more Tauron. Stay your distance, and I might not destroy you. Huh. Tauron, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to fight regardless. I like to end my turn with my magic spirit over the water as much as possible. That way, I don't lose him due to skirmishes. Magic spirit isn't really tough enough to win any kind of fight, and so we need to keep him over the water. Well, there I am breaking my own rule. Nice. Okay, I got a farmer's market now, and I think that's going to allow me to free up another worker because farmer's market has a food bonus. And we're going to go right into stables, which will allow us to create horse bowmen. It's actually pretty late in the game for me to not have walls and only have my beginning spearmen and swordmen. On impossible mode, I could have got a hefty stack of raiders by now. Zombies. Well, war bears. Angel. Every single thing has not a single undefended lair yet. And hey, this continent just keeps on going and going. I wonder if that's the bottom of the board here. No, that's not the bottom of the board. But it looks like it's a different land mass, and I need to concentrate on the land mass where my enemies are, which is at least Tauron and Sharee. Oh boy. All right. You know those raiders? I'm lucky it's only one swordman. With my spearmen and swordmen, I ought to be able to win that battle, unless I get some really bad rolls. And at this point, my mana's down to 0. How's my city doing, by the way? City's doing okay. 2 more turns to my stables. I got 8 gold coming in per turn. I've got 9 mana coming in, which is a lot less than my spell casting skill. I need 78 more to make Tauron show up. I could speed that up by converting my gold to mana with alchemy right now, but I then would not have enough gold to cast Heroism on Tauron, and without Heroism, Tauron is just too fragile. So I'm actually going to bide my time, build up my gold, and let it take a while for Tauron to show up. I hope a stack of raiders doesn't come along and kill me while I'm trying to get Tauron successfully on board. Neutral city. All right. So fortunately, those are a level 0 swordsman. My guys are up to level 1, which makes them a little tougher. These hit for 3 with 2 shields. My spearmen hit for 2 with 2 shields, and my swordsman hit for 4 with 2 shields. 2 to 1, I really ought to be able to win this fight. I'm going to let the guys come to me, because then I can decide how to attack. Okay, so first, soften up the swordsman with my spearmen. Yeah, I did a little bit of damage. They hurt me a little too. In fact, I hurt them worse than they hurt me. That's nice. But now that they're softened up, switch to my swordsman, hit them again. Because see, they had, I had my full 6 figures of swordsmen, and they were down a few figures. So they weren't dealing as much damage. And now I'm still at full strength on my swordsman, and I've knocked him down to 1 figure. Hit again, and I've won. Both my guys took a little damage but survived. Found another neutral city there. And at this point, I have explored so far away from my capital. Still looking for Tauron here, but haven't seen any Tauron troops lately, so I'm kind of wondering if there would be a better place to look. Really would hate to blunder right into a nest of Tauron, though. Okay, the stables are done. I've got so many buildings going on that that's kind of detracting from my gold production. But finally now, I can build some better defenders. Horse bowmen have a range of 2 and a melee of 4. They've got 3 lives, which is pretty nice, and 4 figures. So they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice garrison troops. I'm going to build 2 horse bowmen, which is, I think, going to let me boost up the tax rate, and then build my walls. Right. Finally, undefended, 50 gold. Excellent. I need that gold, to tell you the truth. And fire elemental, that doesn't sound too tough. Although in a node, the monsters are a whole lot tougher. Kind of wish there was some water to work over. What do we have down here? All right, that's some more Tauron. That's some more Sharee. Oh, there we go. Woof. And I have all this knowledge way halfway across the world, but not a lot of knowledge around my capital. So I kind of want to even that out a little. Phantom Beasts are a lot tougher than Phantom Warriors. And there's some more water up there. Okay, how are we doing with food? Okay, still okay at the moment. Now we got 3 defenders instead of 2. And well, interesting. Just kind of wondering where I want to explore to. Okay, I'm going to need to convert a... Wow, I already had another unrest. Okay, so I converted a worker to a farmer. And there is Torin the Chosen. And Tauron has his standard abilities, but he also... Yes, I want to accept this guy. Hello, Tauron. And interestingly, now that I've got a 4th unit, that unquells 1 more unrest, and this guy goes back to being a productive worker and taxpayer. Okay, so what have we got here? Torin the Chosen. He's got leadership, constitution, super might. Those are standard, prayer master standard. So his random abilities, he's picked up agility and lucky. Agility will give him an extra shield as he levels up. Each level that'll add to. But lucky, that's kind of the king, or one of the kings of random abilities. Lucky adds 1 to his dice rolls. So shields have a 40% chance of protecting from damage, and swords have a 40% chance of dealing damage. Meanwhile, on the defense, um, on the attacker gets debuffed. So in standard mode, in their attack, instead of having a 30% chance of hitting, they only have a 20%. And I think their shields only have a 20% of stopping damage. So Tauron with Lucky is a whole lot tougher than without it. And there we go. I'm now at a point where I got to take a break.